Hi, this is Dan Herrick. I'm doing fly time videos for the Lively Legz boys. They asked me to do it and I said I'd be proud to do it. So the first fly we're going to tie is a tungsten natural hare's ear, bead-headed nymph. And the materials that we are going to use, the dubbing will be hairline hare's ear dubbing. We'll use a down and dirty tungsten bead in gold. We'll use a Lively Legz lip splitter number 720 in a size 12. For the wing case, we're going to use pheno skin in a brown. For a tail, we're going to use Chinese saddle hackle in a fiery brown. And of course, we're going to use brown Lively Legz in a size small. The thread we'll be using is a uni thread 6/0 in a dark brown, and we're going to use soft gold wire in a size small. Also, we'll use hairline head cement, and one of the important parts is hairline dubbing wax. So we'll get started in tying the video. But I thought I would pan in so you could get a good look at this fly. Work it here a little bit. There we go. Very good fly to use. I'll pan it in just a little bit more. There we go. And we'll get started. The first thing is we're going to take our hook and we're going to insert it in the vise like this. The reason I do this is when you take a bead, it's easier to install than trying to use your fingers or tweezers. And what I use is a barb masher, and always put the little hole on the bead first on the hook point. Okay, the reason being is it won't slide over the hook eye. So once you have that, we'll set it up. We'll take our thread, start it right behind the bead, work it all the way back to the bend of the hook, like so. Trim off the excess. We'll take our saddle. Like I said in the tip video that I did, get your fluff off, and you have your feather. Take about 8 or 9 fibers, lay them on your hook, tie it in, make it shorter than the hook shank, just a little bit for nymphs. That's about right there. Wrap it in. Now we'll take our gold ribbing, our gold wire, lay it on the hook, tie it into the back of the bend of the hook. There we go. Next, we'll take some dubbing wax. I like to rub it between my index finger and my thumb. I have better control with my dubbing when I go to twist it on my thread. Doing it this way, take a little bit at a time. Slide it up right there at the bottom of the hook. Start your wrapping. That should about do it. If you have extra, you can just pull it off. What I like to do is trim my hairs, my long hairs that are here. Pull your thread up so you don't snip it off. A good sharp pair of scissors helps when you do this. Okay, now we'll take and rib our body. 4 good wraps is usually good. Take your thread and wrap around, pull it up. Now a lot of guys like to what they call helicopter, and that breaks it off. But I like to just take a pair of cheap old scissors and snip it off. I think that when you helicopter, sometimes you move your materials. So what you want to do is cover that little nub up. Okay, now the next is going to be our wing case, which is phoenix skin. And I'll show you a little trick that'll save you a lot of heartache. You see your legs and you see that stem? What you want to do is lay your phoenix skin on there like so. Make it the same width as that skin. The lively legs right there, just like that. That'll keep you from moving your legs when you tie it in. It'll make your tying more enjoyable. So there's just a little tip we can do. Okay, so on the back of phoenix skin, you have a white little backboard. You peel that off. And when you peel that off, what you have is a transparent piece of plastic for your wing case. So what we'll do, we'll lay that on top. I like to lay it at a little bit of an angle, catch it with a loose wrap, pull it, and it comes right to the top, just like your tail. And we want to get this positioned right. So there we go, we got that. So what we do next, we're going to take our dubbing wax, put between your finger and your thumb. And what we got to do here, we're going to make a tiny little bit of a thorax. And what you want to do is, you have these guard hairs. You want to try to get as many of them out. You don't really need the guard hairs. That's what they're called. They're called guard hairs. In this dubbing right here, all you're doing is covering that hook shank to give your lively legs a place to grab hold of instead of on a bare hook. On a bare hook, you risk the chance of moving your legs. So it's just a tiny little bit. Just wrap it like that. Okay, then we'll go right to the front of the hook. Okay, now what we do, we'll take our lively legs. And on our lively legs, we have 3 sets of legs. You have a front, you have a middle, and you have back. And you have a front tag and a back tag. So what we do, we lay that right on top of that hook. Maybe I can bend this over to show you. And you put that tag right, those front legs right behind that bead. Pull over. You can manipulate it with putting a little tension on your thread. And then we're going to catch the middle with 2 wraps. And then right behind the back legs, that's the second leg. Since we're only going to use 2 since this hook shank is pretty short, and we'll catch it with 2 wraps and bring it back to the middle, like so. Maybe I can pan in a little bit for you so you can see that. Like so. Okay, now I'll pan in here because you might want to see this part pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take that back set of legs, pull them up, trim them off, being careful not to hit your wing case or your other legs. Trim that off like so. Then we'll take the front tab, pull it up, lay it right on your bead, and trim. So what you have is a set of legs that look like this. Alright, next step. Take your wax, rub it between your thumb and your index finger. What we're going to do is lightly, when I say lightly, I mean like this. Not a lot. If you look at that, I hardly have any there. So we're going to pull our thread out, catch it, and we're going to put some dubbing on our thread. When you do this, you don't want to make it, you don't want to really compact it. What you want is something that looks like this. What that's going to do, it's going to make it just a little bit easier to pick your fibers out, because when you do a hare's ear, you want it to be really spiky. So 2 wraps in the middle. Well, that's a little bit too thick there. 2 wraps in the middle. Now here we can turn it around and look and see we've got that pretty good right there. So we do our 2 wraps. We pull our legs back. It's a little tip. Pull our legs back. Go over once in front of them. If you have any excess, you can pull it off. Pull it back and make 2 or 3 good wraps right behind the bead. And any extra long guard hairs, you can take your tweezers or your barb mashers, pull them out. And once we got that, you can adjust your legs one more time. They should look like this. We'll take our pheno skin, pull it over, hold it tight, wiggle it between the 2 front legs right behind the bead, secure it with 2 or 3 wraps. Pull your wing case back, make 1 or 2 wraps. Now, when you do this, put a little pressure, pull on it a little bit. You don't want to cut it like this. You want to put a little pressure on it. Lay your scissors right on your wing case and snip right off. So what you have is a nice little neat head. What we do is pull your legs back and make 2 or 3 wraps. We'll do 4. And then we'll whip finish. I whip finish 1, 2, 3, 4 times. When you pull it down, take your finger, hold it on the eye of the hook, and snug your thread down a little bit. That'll make sure your whip finish knot gets secure. It gets secured. Right? Never cut your thread. Open your scissors up about like this, and bring it right up to the bottom of the fly and push it through. And we'll take our head cement. A lot of people overlook this, but I think your head cement, when you put it on a fly, it just makes it more durable. Take a dubbing needle, dip it in your head cement, and just touch it. Good head cement will suck right into those threads and secure that thread wrap. So once you do that, your fly is finished. But to make this hare's ear look a little more buggy, take a 22 brush, turn your fly over, and just rub it a little bit. Just tickle it. Pick some of them guard hairs out. Some of them might be just a little bit too long, but you can take your scissors, trim it up a little bit, and there you have it. The natural hare's ear, little bead-headed, lively legs. Nymph. Hope you enjoyed this video. Tight lines and tight wraps.